Pallavas, Part 1. During the 3rd century AD, there rose a kingdom in the south. It ruled the southern parts of India for almost 500 years. This kingdom was called the Pallavas. In this lesson, we will learn about the Pallava dynasty, its great rulers, and the huge impact it laid on the Indian culture. There are no relevant facts that derive the origin of the Pallavas. However, some scholars think that the Pallavas had established themselves after the decline of the Satavahanas or the Andhra Empire. A Chinese pilgrim named Yun Sang had visited the Pallava capital, Kanchi or Kanchipuram, during the rule of Narasimhavarman I. He confirmed that the Pallavas had well established themselves on the east coast of India between the Krishna and Kaveri rivers during that period. The Pallava dynasty established its foundation in the southern regions of India. It ruled over South Andhra and the northern Tamil Nadu regions between the period of 300 AD and 900 AD. Kanchipuram was the capital of this dynasty. There were many great rulers in the Pallava dynasty who contributed in the political, religious, and cultural development during their rule. Let us study about some of the greatest rulers of the Pallava dynasty. Sihavarman is said to be the founder of the Pallava dynasty. Some of the other great rulers of the Pallava dynasty include Sihavishnu, Mahendravarman, and Narasimhavarman I. Let us study about these rulers in detail. Sihavishnu was the son of King Sihavarman III. He was the ruler who revived the Pallava Empire by restoring monarchy in 575 AD. He was a great warrior and he conquered the kingdoms of Chola, Pandya, and Simhala or Ceylon. It was during the reign of Sihavishnu that the conflict between the Pallavas and Chalukyas began, which lasted for approximately 2 centuries.
Simhavishnu was portrayed as a great warrior in the satire Matavilasa Prahasana, which was written by his son Mahendravarman.
Mahendravarman succeeded his father Sihavishnu's throne and ruled the Pallava kingdom in the early 7th century. He was not only a great writer, but also a poet, musician, and painter. He was honored with the titles Vichitrachitta and Chitrakara. He built several cave temples in Tamil Nadu during his rule. He was also known as a brave warrior. During his reign, he was attacked by the Chalukya king Pulakesin II. Although Mahendravarman saved the capital Kanchipuram, he lost most of the northern provinces to Pulakesin. Mahendravarman was succeeded by his son Narasimhavarman I. Narasimhavarman I was one of the greatest rulers of his time. He ruled from 630 AD to about 660 AD. He attacked and killed the Chalukya king Pulakeshin II to avenge his father's defeat. Narasimhavarman I also destroyed Vatapi or Badami, the capital city of the Chalukyas. He was honored with the title Vatapikonda after burning down the Chalukya capital. Narasimhavarman I received another title, Mahamalla, which means a great wrestler. After receiving this title, he built a port town known as Mahamallapuram, or famously known as Mahabalipuram. Narasimhavarman I encouraged art and literature. The famous rathas of Mahabalipuram were built during his reign. These rathas were carved from a single granite stone. The poet Bharavi, writer of the famous book Kiratarjunyam, also adorned Narasimhavarman's court. The Pallavas gained supremacy in South India, but they were never at peace. There were steady conflicts with the neighboring rival dynasties, including the Chalukyas from the north and Tamil kingdoms of the Cholas and Pandyas from the south. This weakened the Pallava rule. The Pallavas brought the Chalukyas of Badami to an end in the 8th century AD. However, they eventually lost their power by the 9th century AD after being defeated by the Chola kings. Pallavas, Part 2. The Pallava rulers adopted a centralized administration system. The king was the head of the government. For the purpose of administration, the kingdom was divided into different units, such as the Rashtras or Mandalams, Nadus, Vishayas or Kotams, and Urs or villages. The Pallava rulers levied taxes on their people. They collected some part of the crops as tax. All the rulers of the Pallava dynasty were great patrons of art and learning. Throughout the period of the Pallava rule, the kings encouraged literature, art, and architecture. Further in this lesson, we will learn about the cultural heritage that flourished during the rule of the Pallavas in the fields of art, literature, architecture, religion, music, and painting. The Pallavas were known for their achievements in the field of literature. They established education centers known as the Ghatika Sthanas in order to teach the Vedas. The Kanchipuram Ghatika was one of the most famous educational centers during that time. The Pallavas witnessed some great poets in their time. The Sanskrit poet Bharavi was known for his work called Kiratarjunyam. Dandin was also a Sanskrit writer known for his work called Kavyadarsha. The Pallavas wrote most of their literature in Sanskrit language. Kanchipuram, the capital city of the Pallavas, was the hub of Sanskrit learning in the south. Later, even Tamil language gained popularity and was used in composing devotional poetry and hymns. The famous Tamil Kural, written by the great poet and philosopher Thiruvalluvar, is a classic example of Tamil literature produced during the Pallava period. The Pallavas were pioneers of art and architecture in South India. They were famous for constructing rock-cut cave temples called mandapas, as well as monolithic shrines called rathas. The famous Kailashnath temple at Kanchipuram and the Shore temple at Mahabalipuram are fine examples of Pallava temple architecture. The Kailashnath temple is a rock-cut cave temple that was built in the capital city, Kanchipuram, under the rule of King Narasimhavarman I. The famous Shore temple is also a rock-cut temple that was built at Mahabalipuram during the same period. This temple, built near the sea, consists of two shrines, one dedicated to Lord Shiva and the other dedicated to Lord Vishnu. The towers of the Shore temple are covered with beautiful sculptures. The inscriptions of King Mahendravarman I and his successors can still be witnessed at a number of rock-cut cave temples built between 690 AD and 900 AD. During the 7th century, the famous rathas at Mahabalipuram in Tamil Nadu were built during the reign of King Narasimhavarman I. The rock-cut architecture of Mahabalipuram consists of 8 monolithic temples. Among them, the Panchapandava Rathas are the most famous. They have been carved out of a single massive granite rock on the seashore. The Panchapandava Raths are the Draupadi Rath, Dharmaraj Rath, Arjun Rath, Bhima Rath, and Sahadeva Rath. The Pallava architecture became the inspiration and the basis of most of the temple styles in South India. The Pallavas mainly followed Hinduism. The great religious reform took place during the Pallava rule. The Bhakti movement originated through the great philosopher Sri Shankaracharya, who preached in the Pallava domains. Many Tamil saints evolved through the Bhakti cult which spread across India. These saints composed devotional hymns in praise of Lord Vishnu and Shiva. The Nayanars, who promoted Shaivism, were considered as Shaiva saints. The Alvars, who promoted Vaishnavism, were considered as Vaishnava saints. These saints ignored distinctions based on caste and blind ritualism. The Pallavas spread the Hindu culture to East India and far-off islands like Java and Sumatra. Even though the Pallavas had faith in Hinduism, they were a secular kingdom and respected other religions. Around 100 Buddhist monasteries and 80 temples were known to exist in Kanchipuram, the capital city of the Pallavas. The South Indian temples were very wealthy and rich. Some temples took part in trading activities and social events. Hence, they influence not only religious life but also the political, social, cultural, educational, and economic life of the people. The Pallavas also contributed in the fields of music and paintings. Carnatic music and Bharatanatyam dance gained popularity during the Pallava rule. These famous forms of music and dance are practiced even today. There are some beautiful wall paintings found in the Kailashnath temple and the Jain cave shrine at Sittanavasal. The achievements of the Pallavas have contributed to a great extent to the cultural heritage of India over the years.